So today, social media actually ruined my day, and I'm gonna explain you why, and I'm gonna explain that based on science, and I'm gonna I'm gonna stick to, how system works in our brain and in our biochemistry. So everybody talks about dopamine, all right? Everybody talks about social media and cheap dopamine and real dopamine. And but I feel like not everyone has the right concept of cheap dopamine, real dopamine, rewards, and how it actually works. So I'm gonna tell you my experience about that because I struggled with this problem for a while now, and today I I fell into it like yeah, I don't think I'm that stupid actually. I don't think you have to be uh, that stupid to fall into these traps, to fall into distractions, because in today's modern world is more than easy to fall into distractions, to get distracted. So much so that most people don't know what they want, and most people don't remember their goals every day, and they need to be reminded. Some people, some people don't, you know, don't have bright ideas anymore because they're fully distracted, like 24/7. And I'm not talking about whoever consumes 9 hours of social media content a day. You don't need to reach that level to start to feel the downside. So the rule that I'm gonna mention is the rule of simple rule, just a simple rule. It's reward and is sorry work and reward. Okay, so you work, you do what you're supposed to do, and then you get the reward. Okay, so if you're like me, if you're self-employed, if you're a freelance, um, you're gonna have to manage your time. You're gonna have to manage your tasks, and that's the difficult part because yeah, you don't have a schedule. You make your own, but it's really a double-edged sword because you don't have nobody that tells you um, essentially you're gonna have to work from 9 to 5 either way. You're gonna have to do this or we're gonna fire you. You don't have anyone to tell you that. You're gonna have to tell yourself, and it really depends um, on the internal dialogue that you have, you know. But if you're not used to it, you end up getting caught into distractions, and so it's gonna feel like the reward comes first, and then it comes the work. But when this happens, what it actually happens is the reward the cheap reward, the cheap dopamine is gonna mask itself as the reward, and it's gonna, put it at the first place. So first, you're gonna have the reward, but that's not the reward you're looking for. That's just a cheap substitute that is gonna leave you unfulfilled and deeply disturbed by the fact that when you step out of it, of the distractions, you're gonna feel like you're not stimulated enough to work, to get the boring stuff, and that's just neurological, because your dopamine levels are here and the stimuli to get to work is here. You're not interested in that. Your brain is not interested in that, and that's where you get fucked. The fact that rewards are getting, this cheap substitute made out of cheap dopamine is really damaging us, because a good reward is a night out with your colleagues, celebrating celebrating an outcome that you achieved, a night out with your partner after a year of a successful relationship. A reward is gonna be a good movie after a long day of work, because that's gonna feel so fucking good, okay? Because you actually put in the work first, and you know that when you're gonna celebrate it, when you're gonna reward yourself. Bear in mind, this is more applicable to self-employed people and entrepreneurs, but it's still the same to employees. But they know that stuff. It's how they work. For self-employed people, we have to make it ourselves. We have to stumble upon it if we're not, equipped with an iron discipline. So if we mistake these rewards, these good, these pure and real rewards, with some cheap dopamine distraction, that's gonna be the end of it. Not the end of it, but it's gonna be a pitfall, and you're not gonna be able to work and focus afterwards. Sometimes you just gotta go to bed and start the day after, and the day after you're gonna have to start without any sugar, without eating heavy foods. Your sugar level in your blood is gonna have to be the lowest as possible, because then you're working and just sitting down at your desk and putting the work is gonna feel even fun. It's gonna feel like the fun part. But this is only if when you wake up, you do your stretching, you do your breath work, you get some sunlight in, and you don't check your phone, and you just don't turn up the TV. You don't even listen to music. Okay? You get outside, you do your walk. You get your body going. Okay? You wake yourself up naturally. You don't even need caffeine for that. And then you sit down and you journal, or you jump into work and you do the thing that you're supposed to do, I'm gonna promise you that if you do this by the end of, the task that you had to do for the day, you're gonna feel empowered by that. And if you get to the end of it without distractions, and then you're gonna feel the right level of self-esteem to get to a point where you're gonna get yourself a reward, and it's gonna feel just right, and you're not gonna feel guilt. You're not gonna feel guilty at all. You're gonna be empowered by that. But if you don't, then it's something that it builds up. It's like that getting it's like getting a big rock down a hill. If it gets going, then it's just difficult, harder and harder to stop. But guess what? It's the other way around. It's the other way around too. So if you get disciplined, and if you do that every day, and you don't miss for more than 2 times in a row, you're gonna keep the habit, and that's gonna be your winning habit, the thing that's gonna distinguish yourself from a whole lot of people that are ambitious people, but they just can't reach their goal because they're not focused enough. They don't have the right amount of discipline, and so they're gonna lose. They're gonna get stuck in the loop. I know it's difficult, all right, but the bar is so low, because there are people that that wishes for shiny things, all right, that they see on social media. They don't even know why they want to succeed in life. Those people are like 80 to 90% of people out there who are playing the game you're playing. So the bar is so low. If you get serious, and if you really want to do something, then it's gonna be easy. It's really gonna be easy. But the hard part is getting out of this state, getting out of this sea of distractions. And yeah, I guess sometimes thinking of going for a month without the Instagram and TikTok apps on our phones, yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, even for someone that works with social media like me. Yeah. Right, I've said it. Now go ahead and do it. And I'll see you at the top.